The president really knows that small business are the engines of our economy, and as the president said, we're going to restart the engine to create jobs and prosperity and growth like never before. When small business is strong, America is strong.
Vice President Mike Pence boosting Main Street morale, assuring an audience of small business owners that President Trump is committed to boosting economic growth from Wall Street to Main Street. Now, here to discuss this, Bill Dunkelberg and Jeff DeWit. Bill, let me start with you. The Vice President was in Cincinnati, Middle America, where small business is the engine of growth for our economy. What do you think he was hearing from small business owners about what needs to happen now that the President has taken steps to try and relieve the burden they face to get them to the next part, which is to grow their businesses?
Well, the key issues for small business owners that we've checked out a couple of months ago in a big survey of our 325,000 members, number one was, of course, getting health care fixed. Number two is the cost of regulation, complying with regulation, red tape, and then the next five things all were about tax code complexity, the fact that the taxes took away the capital that they used to grow their firms. The tax code changes all the time, so it costs them a lot of money just to send money to the government. Those are the big issues for them, and of course I think they probably heard a lot about the changes that are going to be planned for those things.
Jeff, you know, you're the former COO for the Trump campaign, so you understand how money works and how important it is that people get paid. I cannot tell you how many small business owners came up to me when I was covering the candidates on the campaign trail, talking about how they had to close their businesses because they couldn't keep up with the mandates from government, whether it was through Obamacare or whether it was through regulations. To open a hair salon in New York City, the licensing requirements are unbelievable. Will this change? I mean, the president's promised it, but things have to go through Congress, too.
Well, it's already changing. You've seen the order to get rid of 2 regulations for every 1 that's created. That's very different than the last administration, I can tell you that for sure. And, you know, Obamacare, as you just heard, you know, the health care fix, small business, which provides over half the jobs in this country, is being creamed.
Jeff, I have to interrupt you. I apologize. Jeff and Bill, stay there, but I want to take everybody. We have a live shot, I believe, of Rick Perry being sworn in as the new Secretary of Energy. Let's take a quick listen with the Vice President.
Well and faithfully discharge the duties
of the office upon which I am about to enter.
of the office of which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Okay, so we have the Secretary of Energy, Rick Perry, the former governor of Texas, has been sworn in. Let's bring Jeff back in. You know, this is interesting because when we talk about energy, we are talking about very large businesses, but there are small businesses that are also part of the energy picture in the United States. And I have to believe that the regulations that the President, Jeff, has already pulled back regarding coal or other energy fossil fuel production is going to help employ people, or am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right. Let me be the first to congratulate now Secretary Perry, who did a very good job in Texas as governor of creating jobs. He knows very well about keeping regulations low, taxes low, and employment high. And that's one of the reasons, you know, what you see with Vice President Pence still going out right now and visiting small business is what's called keeping your eye on the ball. And the administration's doing that. They know that the ball is economy and jobs, and that's what they're concentrating on. But the 49 rule, you know, employee rule of Obamacare, where companies, small companies,
people from hiring,
would get penalized for going to 50 employees.
Right. Yeah. So let me bring
you know, even with large companies, there's if you took a worker from 29 hours to 30 hours, you got more busy, you were penalized.
So Bill,
these things going away will help the economy grow.
Bill, let me ask you this, because the National Federation of Independent Businesses, you deal with the men and women who put men and women to work. And I just have to ask you, is, you know, as we hear Jeff saying, keep your eye on the ball, is the prize, the tax cut that will help these smaller businesses employ more people? And I'm not just talking about a corporate tax cut. It's an income tax, because many of these people report their business, you know, that they own as their personal income. So don't they need that break to help?
That's right. They're flow-through organizations, so the personal tax rates are very important for them. And as pointed out, you know, they employ a lot of people. 90% of the employer firms out there have fewer than 20 employees. And so you got the complications of the tax code. It's not just the taxes, but the time and complexity of complying with that and filing the tax return. Why is it so hard to send the money to the government? It shouldn't be that hard. So that really needs to be fixed up. And of course, the regulations, we talked about kind of federal regulations, but a lot of the regulations like you referred to about opening a beauty salon, they're state and local regs as well, and those are going to be very difficult to get rolled back. But the Republicans have, you know, big shares now of local government across the country, so hopefully we can address those as well. There's a lot of nonsense out there. Cost benefit is so important, and the government regulations and the government regulators don't seem to bother to check that out very much.
You talk about important. Jobs are important, and I think we can all relate to that. Bill and Jeff, I apologize that we had to cut this short because of the swearing in of Mr. Perry as Secretary of Energy, but thank you for joining us.